World population change. The global population reached 8 billion in November 2022. It has grown from just 4 million people in 10,000 BCE to an estimated 190 million people by the year zero. By 1700, the population had begun to grow more rapidly and reached 600 million people. It might have been greater if the Black Death hadn't killed 200 million people in Europe in the 14th century. From the 1700s onwards, the population exploded. The first billion was reached in 1804. 123 years later, it reached 2 billion. It was just 33 years later that the population reached 3 billion, and only 14 years later, the population totalled 4 billion. After another 13 years, it climbed to 5 billion. The 6 billion milestone was passed in 1999 and 7 billion in 2011. On the 15th of November 2022, the United Nations estimated that the world had reached a total population of 8 billion people. The world's population increases by around 140 people per minute. This is slower growth than has been experienced in the past at 0.88% per year, down from a peak of 2.3% in the 1960s. Despite falling birth rates, the world's population continues to grow as people live longer. The population is expected to increase by nearly 2 billion persons in the next 30 years to 9.7 billion in 2050, and could peak at nearly 10.4 billion in the mid-2080s. Population size and growth rates significantly vary between the continents. Asia has the highest population with 4.6 billion people, followed by Africa with 1.5 billion. China and India remain the two most populous countries of the world, both with more than 1 billion people, each representing nearly 18% of the world's population respectively. Around 2023, India was projected to overtake China as the world's most populous country, while China's population is projected to decrease by 48 million, or around 2.7%, between 2019 and 2050. Despite Asia having the largest population, its rate of natural population increase has declined since the 1950s. More than half of global population growth between now and 2050 is expected to occur in Africa. The population of sub-Saharan Africa is projected to double by 2050. This will bring a range of challenges to the continent, including the provision of a reliable water and food supply. In sharp contrast, the populations of many European countries are expected to decrease by 2050, of which 26 may see a reduction of at least 10%. North and South America have seen significant reductions in their rate of population change, although the area is still predicted to see population increase. Oceania has a relatively high rate of population growth, but a large proportion of this is due to migration to Australia, New Zealand, and Pacific Ocean island countries. To summarise, the global population reached a total of 8 billion in 2022. This followed a period of extremely rapid population growth during the 19th and 20th centuries. The global population growth rate in 2022 was 0.88%. Africa, however, has a faster rate of 1.74%, and the population in Europe is decreasing at a rate of minus 0.26%. The world's population is not evenly distributed, with the largest share of the population being found in Asia currently. Keywords: BCE, before the Common Era, the period of history prior to the birth of Jesus Christ. The Black Death, a form of plague pandemic in Europe.